Hey guys, what's going on? Today I'm going to be doing a video on my recent pickups. It's been quite a while, but I explained why I haven't done any videos these past few months. I uploaded that already, and this is going to be the pickups video. So, yeah, let's begin. So I have a CD, a bunch of movies, a few games, and a very special item at the end. So let's get started. So first is Mudvayne, the beginning or the end of all things to come. There you go. I was gonna say the beginning of things to end, but that's actually one of their later albums. But yeah, really great album. I heard about Mudvayne because of a movie called Ghost Ship, and one of the tracks that was on there was Not Falling, and it was from this album. And after hearing that song obsessively over and over and over again when I was a kid, I wanted to get this album, and it took me a long time to get it, but I finally have it, and I'm very happy to have it. And yeah, it's a great album as well. Really love it. Next, so we're gonna do the movies. So we got Sherlock Holmes. Now this movie is awesome. I love the Sherlock Holmes movies. I have both of them. Jude Law said that they were making a third one, and it's not gonna come out until like 2021, which is insane. Now, mind you, the last movie that they made, which was the second, came out in 2011. So it's a pretty big gap, but I'm excited to see both, Jude Law and Robert Downey Jr. to reprise their roles again as the characters. But yeah, the movie is really awesome. I do love the movie. Next is Sherlock Holmes: A Game of Shadows. Again, really great movie. I love it. I only seen this maybe twice before I got the DVD, of course, and I've watched it maybe 3 more times because it's a really great movie series. I love them a lot, and I very much recommend them. Next is Forgetting Sarah Marshall. I've seen this one years back. I watched the theatrical version. This one is unrated. I haven't seen the unrated version yet, but I can only imagine the amount of things that they're gonna have in the unrated version. But yeah, it's a really funny movie. The next is The Devil's Own. Now, I've never seen this movie, but my mom told me that this movie is great. It's a really good movie. And, I mean, come on. You have Harrison Ford and Brad Pitt, 2 really good actors, I think. Well, Harrison Ford obviously is legendary, and Brad Pitt is legendary in his own way. He's done a lot of good movies that I've watched that I've never really had any issues with. So, but yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but from the description of the movie, it sounds very good. But I will be watching it for sure. Next is Hostiles. I haven't seen this one yet either. The plot of the movie sounds very good. You have, let me see. It talks about army captain who helps a Kayan war chief. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm very sorry if I'm butchering that word. Back to his family and his tribal land. So it sounds really good, but I have not watched it yet. Next is Blade Runner: The Final Cut. Now, prior to owning the DVD, I have never seen this movie. I heard about I was gonna say Robotron, sorry. Blade Runner 2049 came out like a few years ago, I think, with Ryan Gosling and Harrison Ford was in it, and it looked pretty good, but I didn't know that it was a sequel to this. I came across it at the flea market a few weeks back, and I decided to watch the movie, and it was really good. I do really like this movie. So, yeah. Now, the next 2 movies I haven't watched yet because I wanted to get all 3 of them and watch them, back to back. After I finished watching the first, I would watch the second and the third. But as a kid, I didn't think these movies were entertaining. I thought they were kind of boring. And this is coming from someone who watched all 6 of the Star Wars movies before they did, the newer episodes now. But yeah, this is coming from someone who's watched Star Wars and who can sit there and watch those. But I couldn't watch these for some reason. And that is Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. I have Fellowship of the Ring, but I didn't have 2 and 3. So I just waited until I got all 3 of them to watch them all. But I don't really have an opinion on it. So, but if you guys want to ask me, If I've watched them yet, in the comments, just tell me, and I'll ask you, or I'll let you know if I did or didn't. Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King. Still haven't watched it, so yeah. Next is 3:10 to Yuma. I'm a big fan of Western movies. Granted, I haven't watched too many, but I've seen a small handful. I've seen Wild Wild West with Will Smith and Kevin Kline. I think that's his name. I've seen Django Unchained. I would assume you would call that a Western movie. What else have I seen in terms of like Western movies? The Hateful Eight. I've seen that one. I want to watch The Magnificent Seven, the original and the remake, because the remake looked really, really good, and I didn't know that was actually a remake of a movie that was that was pretty old. So, but this movie was really good. Really, really enjoyed this movie a lot. I mean, yeah, really great movie. Next is Platoon. I haven't seen this, which I regret admitting that, but I haven't watched it. The reason is because I just haven't really gotten around to it yet. I have a good handful of war movies. Hamburger Hill, Saving Private Ryan, Black Hawk Down, Three Kings, and I'm very sure I have a couple more, but I don't remember. Ones that I don't have that I have seen are like Jarhead, The Lone Survivor, I think I do have that one. I don't remember, but I've seen a good handful of war movies, and I do love war movies. I am aware of like this movie's legacy and how popular this movie is, but I still haven't gotten around to watching it. But I will for sure watch this. Next is Full Metal Jacket. I haven't seen this yet. Again, but I think my mom told me that this movie was like really, really, really good. My grandfather kind of forced her to watch it one time, and my grandfather's like big on war movies too. And the only other movie that I have that's a part of the Stanley Kubrick collection is A Clockwork Orange. So I have that one, and that one it's a very interesting movie, but it's very good though. But yeah, none of the actors in this movie I'm familiar with except for Lee Ermey. I think that's his name, the drill sergeant. But yeah, I know who he is. You know, at least I know him. But one of the guys in the movie looks a lot like one of the dudes from Hamburger Hill. But I don't know. It could be him. It couldn't be. I'm not 100% sure. Next is Battle Los Angeles. This is a really good movie. I've seen this before like once, and I remember it being very good. I haven't watched it yet since I've gotten it, but yeah. From the little bit that I do remember, because like I said, it's been a while since I've seen this movie, it was very, very, very good. So, yeah. Next is Edge of Darkness. This is a really, really, really good movie. How I can describe it, think of Taken, the movie with Liam Neeson, but instead of taking his daughter, they kill his daughter in front of him. That's probably the best way that I can describe this movie. Think of that, but they kill his daughter instead of kidnapping her. And mind you, Mel Gibson's not, like special forces or anything like that. He's just a normal cop, but my God, he's ruthless in this movie, and it's so awesome. It's a really, really great movie. My mom has a thing, where she would, like, if she said a movie is awesome, it's a very good movie. If my mom says that the movie is fucking awesome, it's a very, very good movie. And my mom and I do have very similar tastes when it comes to movies. So for her to say that the movie is fucking awesome, you know damn well it's a good movie. Next is Judgment Day, SmackDown Judgment Day. This aired May 16th, 2004. So yeah, this is a kind of an old DVD pay-per-view, but it was great. Really, really great pay-per-view. Next, we have I have two box sets of seasons. Well, 2 seasons from different shows. So the first one is Naruto Season 1 Uncut. Paid $5 for this at the flea market, if you can believe that. And what's cool is that it came with a Episode 8 storyboard, little booklet, and just give you guys give you guys a good idea on what it is. It's all in Japanese, so I can't read it, but it's pretty cool that they added that in there. I never watched the show as a kid, so I don't have the same attachment as a lot of other people do. But yeah, but it was a really great season, and I remember a lot of people saying that Sakura was annoying. I was like, she can't be that bad, but yeah, it's pretty bad. Next is Man vs. Wild Season 2. I wanted to get the first season, but it was like $60, which is insane. I don't know why it cost that much. But I just wanted to get a season of Man vs. Wild. I really didn't care which one it was. I just wanted to watch the show because I was a huge fan of the show. I remember almost binge watching the whole, like, a bunch of episodes like a few years back. But it's a really good show, and it does have all 3 discs because it is a 3-disc set. Now, this next one, this I was really, really excited to get. The case that came with it originally was broken, so I ended up replacing it. Thankfully, I had a replacement for some crazy reason. But it was a show from the 90s. It it aired. It was supposed to air for a season, but the final episode never happened. On their website, they gave a lengthy description on what would have happened in the last episode, which would have led up to season 2. But I think the reason why the show was canceled was because the budget was too much, and also I don't think any other any other people were picking it up, like, to continue the show, which is a shame because even though the show oozes with 90s cheesiness, it's a good kind of cheesy. Some of the episodes do seem like all over the place, but it's actually a pretty good show. And that is Mortal Kombat Conquest. I've been wanting to watch the show ever since I heard about it. I didn't even know that they made a show in the 90s. I was completely unaware, and I'm a pretty big Mortal Kombat fan, so I thought I would have heard about this, but no. I didn't really hear about it until kind of recently. I mean, I heard about it a few years back, but I watched a video and they were saying that the show was never released in the UK, like in the US, until like 2015. And it's the entire series, as you can see it there. It says the complete series. It has 22 episodes, spanning across 4 discs. The first 3 are like 4 hours long each, and I watched all of it. It was a really good show. Like I said, a lot of the episodes just don't seem to are kind of all over the place, like I said, but it's a really, really, really great show. But yeah, I was lucky enough to get this for like $13, which is awesome. And it's a pretty good show. Even, like I said, even though it's very cheesy in the 90s, but it was still a good show. Alright, now we're going to be getting into the games. Alright, so first we have Yakuza Kiwami, I don't know how you pronounce the word. I found out that it actually means extreme in Japanese. So, I have the first game, the original one for the PS2, and I loved it. And I was under the assumption that this was going to be the same game, just with the Yakuza 0 engine, but it's actually built from the ground up. They added a lot of things in this version, so I decided to get it. It was pretty cheap too. I think I might have paid maybe 10 or 15, I don't remember. It was no more than 20, that I do know. Next is Atari Greatest Hits Volume 1. Really great compilation. It has 50 games in total. And what's cool is that there was... Actually, show it to you. There's the inside. I'm going to take the manual out because it's more descriptive in here than it is on the back. Okay, let me see. Here we go. Army Battlezone. The U.S. Army commissioned Atari to create a trainer for gunners of the Bradley fighting vehicle. Based on Battlezone, see the prototype here for the first time. So you have the Army version of Battlezone that the military asked Atari to make, which is really cool. I have a few of the Atari compilations, and none of them had that included. So I think this is the first and only time it was included. So that's really really cool. And I think that version also has the prototype of Tempest. Yeah, Tempest was supposed to come out for the Atari 2600, but it was canceled, and they gave you the demo of the Atari 2600 version of Tempest. Very different from the arcade version, but still pretty cool. Next is Atari Greatest Hits Volume 2. This one also has 50 games in total. A few of the arcade original games, as well as the Atari 2600 games. And what's cool about this one is the special things that this version includes too. It includes an Atari 400 emulator, write and execute your own programs, which I tried and I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And there's also a special interview with Nolan Bushnell, who was the founder of Atari. Now, when I read that, I thought it was going to be the same interview that was a part of Atari Anthology on the PS2 and the Xbox, but it's a very different interview. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, there it is. Complete, of course. Next is Darksiders. Never played Darksiders before, so this is the first time I played it. I bought it for $5, which is not bad at all. It's a really, really good game. And now that I'm talking about it, the voice actor who plays War in this game, for some reason he reminds me a lot of the voice actor who played Yugi in the original Yu-Gi-Oh show, so I don't know, maybe it might be him, but I should check that, see if it is. But yeah, $5, can't go wrong, and it's a really, really good game as well. So, yeah. Next is Dragon Age Origins. Again, never played Dragon Age before. A friend of mine from my old job told me that the game is really, really great. It's one of his personal favorite series, and he said that he put hours and hours and hours into Dragon Age Origins, and he says that it was his favorite game. So I decided to get the game and give it a shot. It was only $5. I got both Darksiders and Dragon Age together at the same time for $10. So it was basically $5 each, which isn't bad at all. But yeah, there it is. There was a voucher code in here, but obviously, of course, the voucher expired in like 2011, so it's no longer useful. Next is The Getaway Black Monday. I have the first one, and it's really, really great. This one is also really good too. I also got this at the same pawn shop that I got Dragon Age Origins and Darksiders. The disc was pretty scratched, but it works perfectly, which is pretty surprising, even to me. Like I said, the disc was pretty scratched, but it works with no issues whatsoever. Next is PopCap Hits Volume 1. The only PopCap games I've played were Bejeweled 1, Bejeweled Blitz, and Peggle Blast. And those were on the phones. So Astro Pop, Bejeweled 2, I don't think I've played. So I actually just got this today. I bought it brand new for $10, which is a steal. And you get two really good games for pretty cheap. But yeah. It also came with this little thing right here, which talks about the history of PopCap, and it even opens up into like a big poster. I would show it, but I wouldn't be able to probably pick it all up on the camera. So yeah. I was actually waiting for PopCap Hits Volume 1 to come in the mail so I can do this video. And lastly is PopCap Hits Volume 2. I've never played Zuma, and I've never played Heavy Weapon. And I regret that I haven't, because they're very fun, they're very simplistic, but excuse me. Sorry. But they're really, really great games. Really, really great games. But yeah. I got this one in the mail first, so it has the same little booklet talking about PopCap and everything, but yeah, really, really great. And the last item is pretty special to me, sort of. Well, actually, yeah, it's pretty special. My mom and I went to the flea market a few weeks, like a while back, and we were there for a while. We were just browsing around and everything, and this lady was selling this this item for $10. But two things were missing, but the lady wanted 10. Thankfully, I had spares, so it works. So that day, we went, we were browsing around, and I asked the lady how much she was asking for it, and she said 10. I was like, okay, well, I don't have the money on me now, but next week, next Saturday, I would go, or no, Sunday. It would have been next Sunday. I would have went back to get it. My mom says that she has 7, like $7, and the lady was like, I'll take 7. That's fine. I'll work with you. Just if it doesn't work, just bring it back, and I'll refund you the money. And it works like a charm. I have not had any issues with it. It works perfectly. And I'm very surprised that I paid $7 for this. And I'm very happy that I found it for such a cheap price. So, I'll let you guys hear it. Hopefully you can hear it. Great memories. So, yeah. An original PlayStation. I'm trying to unplug the cords so I can show it to you. And it is the original fat PlayStation in all of its glory. $7, and it works perfectly fine. She didn't have the cords, which was fine. She had 2 controllers and she had 4 games, but the games didn't work. That's why I didn't show any of the games, because they don't work. What's the purpose of showing you guys, oh look, I got these games, but they don't work? So yeah, I played through a lot of my PS1 games and they work perfectly fine. I haven't had any issues with it at all, which is awesome. And yeah, I'm really happy to finally have all 4 of the PlayStation systems. I have the PS1, PS2, PS3, and PS4. So yeah, if I ever do a review on any games for the PlayStation, I will be playing it on the original PlayStation, because how I was playing the PS1 games was on basically the PS2. But some games don't work because the controller that I got with the PlayStation was the original one without the analog sticks, and some games won't work for that reason, which is kind of a shame, but then again, I could always play them on the PS2, so that's no big deal. But I wanted to kind of give the authentic experience playing it on an original PlayStation, but I'll get a PlayStation 1 DualShock controller eventually somewhere down the road, but for right now, I have it. I have the original controllers. I got a PlayStation, an official PlayStation controller, and a third-party PS1 controller, and they both work fine with no issues whatsoever. So that was really surprising. I was genuinely surprised that I paid $7 for a working PS1 with no issues whatsoever. So yeah, that's my pickups for today. Well, for the past few months. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Have a good day. Most importantly, stay safe. And I will see you guys on the next video. Alright guys, take care. Bye-bye.